I was literally doing my hair and I needed some hair glue to do my hair. It was on a Saturday morning in
Right.
November. It was cold.
Mhm.
And so I went on to Instacart, put the order in, and realized they did not sell the hair glue. So then I went to DoorDash and they didn't sell it either. So I'm like, okay, let me go on Amazon. So I go on Amazon, and Amazon, of course, sold the product that I needed, but it wouldn't be
Mhm.
delivered for 2 days. So
Right.
I'm like, how come whenever we need products from the beauty supply store, they're not easily available for delivery to your house within an hour, right?
Right. Mhm.
So the thought just kind of popped up in my head, and I'm like, you know, what if we could have beauty supplies delivered to our home? So I talked to my
Mm.
husband about it, and he really liked the idea on the initial. And so when I realized that he thought it was a good idea, that was enough for me to continue to go down that rabbit hole to really do the research to figure out what were the pain points, the challenges, and if there was a really true gap in need. And what I discovered is there was a huge gap and a huge need for it, and no one was fulfilling it. And so
Mhm. Right.
that's where the next two drivers through discovery appeared, which was awareness and access.
Polish in my hand, I'm ready to create each nail a masterpiece. I can hardly wait. Soft pastels or vibrant hues, each tells a tale in their artistry of nails. Nothing ever fails. With each swirl and twirl, let the magic begin in this kingdom of gloss. There's no end to the wind. Gloss on my fingertips, watch them shine bright. Painted like a canvas, colors taking flight. Feeling fierce and fabulous, I'm ready to ignite. Slaying the nail game every single night. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird. Nails and beauty talk with Asia.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a very special guest with us today. She is the CEO and founder of glamrush2u. Please welcome Yolanda Mack. Hello, Yolanda, and how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely well. I want to go ahead and kick things off by asking where you're originally from and tell us about your upbringing.
Okay, so I'm originally from San Diego, California. I'm a
Hmm.
West Coast girl. Born in the 80s, oldest of three siblings, and grew up in a single parent household in sunny San Diego. Definitely come from humble beginnings.
Hmm.
Um, did not grow up with much in terms of, finances. Grew up poor and didn't necessarily have the example of, what right should look like in terms of the environment that I grew up in. So.
Hmm. So tell us about like your school and education experience as far as college, trade school, things like that.
So college was definitely a slow, disjointed process for me.
Hmm.
Growing up with a lot of people going to school, college was not something that I appreciated or valued. Quite frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was always a hard worker, and so working was, how I became successful. And then I
Hmm.
hit a wall. And when I hit a wall, I was fulfilling a role that I
Hmm.
wasn't being paid for. And so
Hmm.
when I asked to be compensated, that's when I was told that I needed to go to school and get a degree. So
Hmm.
my job at that time decided to pay for me to go to college, and that was my first time going to college. So I think I started going to college at the age of 24. Finished and got my bachelor's degree, and actually
Hmm.
really enjoyed going to school, and
Hmm.
realized that I could apply a lot of what I learned in school to my job in real time. And so from that
Hmm.
point, I actually stayed in school and ended up finishing my MBA.
Hmm.
Graduated in 2010 with my master's, and then enjoyed a career for 26 years in finance. And so now I'm an executive vice president of growth. So
Oh
I
wow.
do appreciate college today, but I didn't when I was younger. But definitely, college was a huge help for me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I got.
I want to switch gears and talk about the beauty industry. So, who or what exposed you to the beauty industry?
So I've always been a girly girl. I'm a girly girl at heart. I like to do my hair and change my hairstyles, makeup. I do my own makeup, and I love nails. All things to do with nails. I'm a very color coordinated type person, so I love colors. So
Mhm.
being introduced to the beauty industry, that's just something I've always been immersed in, my entire life, and will continue to do so as a consumer.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. So I want to get into as far as glamrush2u. This app is described as an end-to-end e-commerce marketplace designed to uplift the beauty and fashion industry. So tell us more about the platform glamrush2u and what was the driving force behind building this platform?
So, glamorous to you, I just want to start off and say I did not wake up one day and say, "Oh, I want to build a
Mhm.
e-commerce marketplace that's catered to the beauty industry," right?
Right.
Glamorous to you was truly born out of a need, and so the first driver was convenience, right?
Hmm.
So I was literally doing my hair,
Hmm.
and I needed some hair glue to do my hair. It was on a Saturday morning in
Right.
November. It was cold.
Hmm.
And so I went on to Instacart, put the order in, and realized they did not sell the hair glue. So then I went to DoorDash and they didn't sell it either. So I'm like, okay, let me go on Amazon. So I go on Amazon, and Amazon, of course, sold the product that I needed, but it wouldn't
Hmm.
be delivered for 2 days. So
Right.
I'm like, how come whenever we need products from the beauty supply store, they're not easily available for delivery to your house within an hour, right?
Right. Hmm.
So the thought just kind of popped up in my head, and I'm like, you know, what if we could have beauty supplies delivered to our home? So I talked to my husband about it, and he really liked the idea on the initial. And so when I realized that he thought it was a good idea, that was enough for me to continue to go down that rabbit hole to really do the research to figure out what were the pain points, the challenges, and if there was a really true gap in need. And what I discovered is there was a huge gap and a huge need for it, and no one was fulfilling it. And
Hmm. Right.
so that's where the next two drivers through discovery appeared, which was awareness and access. So, access, not only is it convenience, right, that drove me to start this, but also access. There's an underserved population where they have accessibility issues getting to the store and from their home
Hmm.
beauty products, right? Talking your elderly, maybe your physically challenged or ill, customers. We want to be able to serve that population as well. And
Right.
I was talking to a lot of beauty supply stores. A lot of the owners made mention of the type of population where they have sometimes problems trying to cater to them because they can't get to the store. And then
Hmm.
just awareness. I've traveled around the country now, and I've talked to all beauty types of beauty supply stores, and the black owned beauty supply stores. What's really interesting for me was a lot of us as consumers don't even know they exist, right? And it's really
Right.
sad. They don't have the reach and the awareness and the visibility. And even for me, I found out there was like two or three beauty supply stores just local to me that I had no idea. And so for me, if I could
Hmm.
help in my own small way, right, with Glamorous to You to bring awareness and visibility to some of the Black owned beauty supply stores because
Hmm.
we deliver, 20 miles from participating locations, then
Right.
I've done my part to help, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah, so those were the three primary drivers with Glamorous to You.
Hmm. And the thing that I want to add really quick as far as just with the representation of black owned beauty supply stores, and I think that's very, very important. And I think that's no different with like cosmetology schools or like black owned nail schools and things like that. They're not highlighted enough, especially in the black community, especially when you think about like for example, nail salon culture and stuff like that. That's mostly Asian ran, Vietnamese and Korean. You know, like when I got into the nail industry, I didn't know there were black, nail techs or
Right.
black nail salon owners, and that's even with the beauty supply industry because it was ran by the Asian community and dominated by the Asian community. And I'm glad that there are Black women, who are really making waves in that sector of the beauty supply sector of the beauty industry, where we can own a store and we can sell products, especially Black owned products too. So
Correct.
it's great. It's great of what you're doing as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm excited to see it. There obviously needs to be an increase in Black ownership, but we also have a lot of challenges that we face. When I say we, talking about the beauty supply store owners that
Mhm.
I've come to understand over this past year, being exposed and being immersed into this industry. So, we've got a lot of work to do, but it can be done, and nothing is impossible.
Absolutely, most definitely. So, for those who may not know of how the platform works, so tell us about how the platform works and its features, like special features within glamrush2u.
Okay. So we liken ourselves to Instacart. So you'll probably
Mhm.
see sometimes we'll say we're Instacart's beauty twin because we literally are, right?
Right.
Um, and so the way that we've modeled ourselves is our customers can go onto our mobile application, Glamorous to You,
Hmm.
and they can literally browse and buy their beauty products and have them delivered to them within an hour. So they browse and
Right.
buy, and then once they pay for their order on the app, our glam rushers, our shoppers and drivers, we call them glam rushers. They will accept the order, go to the store, and then they will shop on behalf of the customer. And if there's products that are not available, they can recommend alternatives. So they're chatting with the customer while they're in the store, making sure they get the right shade, the right length, the right texture, whatever it is they're
Right.
trying to buy at the beauty supply store, because
Mhm.
it's important, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get that correct. And then they check out and deliver to the customer when they need it. We have 3 delivery options. We have within an hour, which is premium, so that's a $2.50 additional charge. And then if you want it within 2 hours, it's free. And then, of course, scheduled date and time. And I think that's really important for those stylists and barbers who might need to have something that's scheduled for their upcoming appointment for a client. We also have that option available as well.
Hmm. So, in what ways does the app stand out from all the other food, beauty, and lifestyle apps like DoorDash or Uber Eats and other apps of that nature?
Yeah, so the obvious is that we prioritized texture, hair, beauty supply essentials,
Hmm.
right? A lot of the products that are sold at the beauty supply stores are not sold at the big box retailers, which
Right.
also means that they're not available on these major mobile delivery platforms because they're not sold at those stores. So
Hmm.
for us, because we have prioritized the beauty supply industry, that
Hmm.
is our key differentiator. We have products that are just simply not available on these other platforms. I mean, something simple as lace glue, hair glue. I mean, that was
Right.
the biggest missing item, hair,
Hmm.
period, bundles, ponytails, all of the things. Those things are what we sell. We do
Hmm.
everything but not food. In addition to that, we're going
Hmm.
to be merging into the fashion um, clothing industry as well because there's not enough on demand options for clothing. So think of something like Macy's, the department stores. Um, you know,
Hmm.
if you need a dress or a replacement of a polo shirt or whatever, you shouldn't have to go to the mall if you don't want to, right? You should be able to have that item delivered to you within an hour. And that
Right.
doesn't exist today. And so that is something that we set out to change as well.
Hmm. I want to ask a question in regards to just with the current state of the beauty industry. So, from a business owner point of view, and your perspective as a Black woman, what is your perspective of the current state of the beauty industry in your opinion?
So I think the beauty industry is booming and it will continue to do so, right?
Hmm.
However, there is a high percentage of small business retailers, such as the beauty supply stores, who are playing from behind. And what I
Right.
mean by that is they lack the mature, sophisticated infrastructure to support their operations and manage their inventory, which,
Hmm.
if they had that in place, it would enable them to have a digital footprint and be able to service their consumer population through a multi-channel sales operation. So,
Hmm.
right now, I liken the beauty supply industry as the last of the Mohicans, if that makes sense. They're slow to get into this new digital e-commerce era. And so we
Mhm.
aim to change that and help with that with glamrush2u.
Mhm. So as far as also with glamrush2u, does it offer collaborations with black-owned beauty platforms and businesses? And so if not, what businesses would you like to collab with?
Yes, absolutely. So we work with all businesses, number one, but yes, we partner, we collaborate with the
Mhm.
Black owned beauty supply stores, just like we do with all of the others. And in fact, we have a what do you call it? Like a little tag, if you will, on our app. If a Black owned beauty supply store wants to have their store labeled as Black owned, we have like this little marker that you can see as a consumer to see the differentiator between the Black owned beauty supply stores versus the others. So I think that's pretty cool, and it highlights. So that way, if there are consumers out there who are intentional about buying from Black owned beauty supply stores, you now have the option to do so on demand as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, really amazing.
In
So
terms I'm sorry to answer your question. In terms of a brand that I would love to collaborate with, so I will tell you, when I first started glamrush2u, I
mm,
was very inspired and still am inspired by the do. I love the brand
mhm,
and everything about the brand, the husband and wife team, their
mhm,
military service background, and
mhm.
just how they represent the culture so beautifully.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
love it. And so I only hope that as we evolve, that we're able to do the same thing. But a collaboration with the do would be great.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. So I want to get into as far as just with the beauty industry also as well. Like, what are some things you like about the beauty industry and things like that?
So, one of the things that I like right now that I'm seeing a lot more of is the increase in natural hair care products. Um,
Mhm.
there's
Yeah.
been focus on what we put into our hair and the type of chemicals that are involved. So, just seeing like these natural hair care product lines take off, that are really good for us to use, it's been really
Right.
nice. So like Talia Wajid and TGIN, for example, and I think
Mhm.
West Davis, those products I think are really making a huge change in terms of, how we use chemicals in our hair and what we should be using. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
And that's what I like about the beauty industry as well, is how much it's really there's more black representation
Yeah,
in the beauty industry, and there's more black owned beauty businesses as well, and that's a really exciting thing to see. I like what Black Beauty Roster is doing in terms of bringing black women who have businesses in regards to the beauty industry and having voices, to really uplift the black community.
yeah,
So it's really, really cool to see that.
yeah. I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, definitely, absolutely. So, what are some of your favorite makeup and beauty brands?
So, favorite makeup, I love Pat McGrath, which I happen to
Mhm.
Juvia's Place. So I'm a colors girl. I love
Yeah.
colors. So Juvia's Place, their eyeshadow palettes are everything for me. Right? And then of course I love Mac. Mac is another go-to for me. Hair brands. Um, I don't have like a favorite per se. I use
Mhm.
I'm all over the place. I love everything. So if it's cute, I'm wearing it, like I
Mhm.
said, colors are just a big thing for me. I'm really big on colors.
Yeah, yeah. I love colors too. I love like hats and
Yeah,
I just love colors, especially when I wear clothes, stuff like that.
right.
So, I want to get into as far as just with life and mental health. So I want to switch gears a little bit. How do you balance being a businesswoman with life and mental health?
So it's hard. The struggle is definitely real, especially in the times that we're currently living in, right?
Yeah.
Think as an entrepreneur, we all are going to face the challenges of just trying to start something from zero, right?
Yeah.
Um, every day you're going to have your days, your highs and your lows. You're going to
Yeah.
cry, you're going to question yourself. You're going to do all of the things. And I think what's important is that you really have a solid circle or someone that you can talk to when you're
Mhm.
having those days, to keep you sane. and then obviously a solid self-care routine. And, it's easy to say those things, and it's really real. You do need it. I'm not always good at sticking to mine, right? Especially if you're one
Yeah.
of those people who are super driven and you keep focusing on the next goal. You never really take time to slow down and take a break,
Hmm.
recognize your accomplishments, and all of the things. And so that's something that I know me personally, I have to work on and get better at.
Hmm. And I think that's something I'm just glad also too, with mental health, there's more talks about it in the Black community, and things like that, especially now, especially the critical times that we're in. Definitely it's learning to take a break, kind of, and I don't think there's such of a thing as balance too much, but
Yeah,
the more I really thought about it over time. But the thing is that it is also spending time with loved ones, calling a friend like how you said before,
yeah.
things like that, and doing different hobbies, besides the business aspect of things. And, so that's definitely, and I'm very glad that, especially in my generation and Gen Z, there's more talk of mental health.
There's a lot more talk, especially now than ever before, which is really good and it's needed. And like I said, just checking on, you got to check on your strong ones for sure. Just
Yeah,
because we're
absolutely.
strong out here don't mean that we are always okay. So I think
Mhm.
checking on your strong friends are good. And then also just checking on everybody else in general, one of the things that I implemented to try to have some balance is I try to go to like this spa once a month, just to,
Mhm.
get out of the chair and really
Right.
just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
relax and download. But, lately I haven't been able to stick to it consistently, but I do try to make it a point to get there at least once every 3 months if I can.
Absolutely, most definitely, totally. So I want to get into, as far as the very last and final question, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support Glam Rush to You and have access to beauty products and things like that?
So you can find us on all of the social media channels at glamrush2u. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We're pretty much, and we're on Twitter as well. We're everywhere. So just the glamrush to you. I would tell you, for me, for anybody who's watching this and you have a vision that you want to execute on, I would tell you to just do it. Um,
Right.
don't have any excuses. Do it scared. Be afraid. You will be okay and you will make it. Like I said, when I woke up and this vision came upon me, the situation, I executed and figured it out
Mhm.
along the way. You're going to learn. You're not going to be perfect. It's not going to, it's not going to turn out the way that you expected it to either, but it will work. And as long as you stay faithful and consistent and you just continue to believe, everything will work out. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid um, to take the risk. Quite frankly, you've got to be willing to put skin in the game, literally.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Yolanda, for jumping onto the show. I love what you're doing. And it's cool how, you and your husband are doing this brand together of Glam Rush to You. And that's really, really awesome to see how this is an app, this is a platform where you can get beauty products shipped at your door. And that's really, really cool. And that's something I've never really seen before. So just thank you so much for your insight and speaking about your experience and, your business insight as well. This was a great conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I appreciate you, Asia, for seeing us as well. So I'm excited about this opportunity and thank you for giving me a platform to tell our story.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye bye.